Leos, I'm back. Oh my goodness. Let's hope my computer doesn't glitch out. I just did Aries and it froze up. So hopefully it doesn't glitch out. I think this computer is at its last leg. So bear with me. For those of you that are brand new, thank you for coming to my channel. My name is Patty. I've been gone for a little bit. Didn't expect to be, but I had knee replacement surgery last week. And so I'm just starting to come back. I can only do about 2 readings a day, even though I want to. It's just also, it wipes me out. Because for those of you that don't know, my readings are done intuitively, so that takes a lot out of me as anyway. But I also do astrology and numerology, so I just have not been able to look at the charts like I wanted to, preparing for the surgery. So just know that most everything I'm going to be doing for this week and probably a little bit of next is going to be very intuitive. I don't know what's going on, but my third eye is really open, and he's really been sending me a lot of messages. So let's get started. I don't have any announcements, of course, other than that I'm back, and be patient with me. And I deeply apologize for those that did not get readings that wanted them. I am so sorry. I really am. I couldn't get them in. I just couldn't get them in. And then it wouldn't be fair to you because I was really on oxys for a couple of days. So it wouldn't have been fair to you. So anyway, so this is going to be for the 22nd through the 28th. We're at the end of March, guys. I cannot believe it. We are at the end of March. And I think we have a full moon coming up. I'll look into that more. And I will do an end of the month reading with that, as well as a more future reading. In the month of March, though, however, we've talked a lot about the planets being very much about our health, about our well-being, things that we need to really watch out about our health, and not only physical, but our mental health and spiritual health, internal health, that kind of a thing, emotional health. So that's really the planets from the moon and Saturn and Jupiter and all the squaring and conjunctions that were going on up there. That's part of that. The divine also said was really watching about our pride this month. I don't know what it was. I didn't get my video done like I wanted to. He knows, though. He knows what I'm being stretched. So, but the thing is, from the divine's end, what is it about pride? Because pride's holding some of us back. So that's month of March, pretty much the energies of what's going on now. Depends on you guys, Leos, what's going on in your life and how you're doing that. I just did Aries, and a phenomenal reading. He really sent a really, really awesome message. Somebody's spiritual awakening is opening up to a new foundation, new grounding. They're going from more earth thought process, more human-based processing, to more spiritual. So I'm really excited for them about that, because that is going to open a whole new door for them. It's going to bring a lot of rewards for them, both spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Really a lot. So this is really exciting. So we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to have the first oracle be in the divines. Second oracle is current energies for the 22nd through the 28th. Third oracle is for the future energies, possibly weekend forward. However, I am going to pull oracles at the end for the weekend and see what the energies are for the weekend for that. So let's get started. So this is interesting. So I'm going to look at the numerology as well while I look at these here. You're funny today. Oh my goodness. Somebody's really, really, really open on the other side for talking today. And this is definitely divine wisdom that is coming through. First card is the divine's card. Hey, Felix. Nice to see you too. Thank you. I'm doing much better. Thank you. But I had to come back. I just couldn't hold on anymore. My inside and also my third eye is really open. So I want to share all that with you guys. Disruption. This is divine's card. Disruption, it means distractions. So really be mindful this week of the distractions that are coming your way. Are they good or are they not? Are they actually taking you off from your focus, or are they bringing you more in focus? Are they making you get your priorities in order, or are they taking your priorities away? And the reason why I share that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 is 3. So you got to acknowledge that definitely something is happening, either trying to get you away from your goal and your purpose of what's going on this coming week, or it's trying to bring you to it. I want to say it's trying to take you away from it. So then the divine is really saying, pay attention to that, because it's going to be easy to be drawn in. It's going to be easy to be manipulated because there's something that you want or you desire. And you got to be careful, because the card this week is forgiveness. So forgiveness is going to be a foundation of bringing stability. And then our future energy is perception. Perception's the number 6, which is about harmony and improvement. Okay. However, when you put these 3 together, okay, Leos, what is it telling you? Because this is your week. So, destructive cannot allow somebody to forgive. And sometimes forgiveness needs to happen for ourselves, because that's our perception of something that maybe we could have been wrong about. I don't know who that's for. I don't know who that's for. But again, people are like, well, I'll never forgive somebody for doing that. A lot of people, oh man, don't do that to me, because I can't bend over very easily. Hang on. Let me tell you, it's really humbling to have to use a walker at my age. My daughter's like, oh my God, you're going to look like that when you're old. No! Very humbling to have to use a walker. But the thing is that we have to really look at our perceptions, because that is either going to hold us back or it's going to allow us to grow. And allow us to grow for what or for who, because you got to really pay attention. Whatever we're growing for, it's not for ourselves anyway. So we have the Page of Wands as the first card out. New message coming. This is spring. This is an April message, I bet, because in the spring, new seeds are being planted, right? Okay, so when I was talking to Aries, this is about the foundation of the soil that seed is going to fall on. So we're getting ready to go into spring equinox, which by the time you get this, it'll be spring equinox, because it's like in 3 days, and today is what, the 18th? So 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, it's 21st. So the thing is, with that, we have seeds, and how are they going to be planted? What soil are they going to be planted on? And what is it? A good soil, healthy soil? Is it a toxic soil? Is it a forgiving soil? Is it something that, yeah, well, it should be a little bit hard, but really, I'll give it a break, kind of a thing. Let it come up through the soil, kind of a thing. So this is a new seed. This is a new planting. This is a new planting. There is something coming up. This, I'm going to tell you right now, whatever is being planted in the soil for you right now is going to carry you through April, May, and June. At least April, May, and June. So this is going to have to be a really, really touchy time for you, because whatever you're reaping, you will sow. Aha. Hang on, Felix. We'll address that. The reason, okay, so this is a really good time to think about this. Okay, so what is going on at work for somebody? Okay, so let's stop right here, because this is really important, because this is a seed that's being planted. You don't know the difference anymore. You will know the difference, one, if you stay in the spirit and ask spirit. But here's how to know the difference. Is it being done in love, or is it being done in fear? And what is the intent or the end result of it? because what is right and what is wrong, that is truth to spirit. The problem with knowing what is right and what is wrong is people get caught up in the earth thought process. They get caught up in the earth's truth. They get caught what is human, what is right, what is labeled, what is all this stuff. But in all reality, that is not even the real true truth. Like when I talk about the compass, true north, there's north, but it's not true north. True north is the divine's north, the divine's truth, that kind of a thing. But the thing is, you have to step back and really put yourself in more of a spiritual mindset than an earthly mindset, because once you're getting pulled in by earth stuff, you're going to get all confused and kerfuffled. So somebody's pulling and planting a seed where they shouldn't be planting. Yeah. And that's the thing is, somebody can tell me, and again, this is your disruption. What am I telling you? Divines and the low vibrations are trying to trick you, trying to maneuver, trying to get you all messed up, trying to not to, whatever your intuition is telling you, that's the divine telling you the truth. You got to really pay attention to that intuition, because that's the seed that's being planted. Yeah. Justice is earth. We do have to follow the earth ways. However, justice and vengeance is mine, says the Lord. But the thing is that justice will come and it will be balanced out if we allow divine to balance it out. And he will show you what's really in. You're very confused. You should email me. Email me. We'll talk. Because it can be very confusing if you are not. I could sit with you for a few minutes and tell you where you probably are missing it. I could probably sit with you and do that. Or if you want to do a Skype or something of that nature. I've done that with several people. There's no charge. It's just getting your answers through the divine, not through me. I'm just the conduit. However, this is a definite disruption for you, Felix, but it's also for somebody else out there. So we got the Empress. Yeah. Somebody, you're going through that. Somebody's cologne. I don't know that cologne. Okay. So we have the Page of Wands, Justice, and the Empress. So, okay. Ooh. For somebody out there, this is going to be a hard one. So somebody either, I don't know who this is for. However, if you're male, you probably got somebody pregnant. Didn't expect that to happen. For a female, you got pregnant. Didn't expect that to happen. But it's there. I don't know who this is for. But it's a disruption. It is something that is going to change your life. Yes. Now, and it is a new seed. It is something new. It is something that is growing, of course. This is something that somebody is going to have. Oh man, I hate that. Somebody has the decision to keep it or not. That's where the justice comes in. I don't like that. The reason why is we're given, yes, life is a matter of choice or not, but it's also too the divine's giving you a life at this time for a purpose. And the thing is, it's a selfish act to actually abort. And I'm speaking from experience. When I was young, I did it, and I regret that because they say that our babies come back to us. And when I had the choice again, the second time with my daughter, I definitely spoke to somebody very spiritual, and they had said, if you do this again, that baby's coming back because it's intended for you and to have you as its mother. And, this baby is to bring you strength. This baby is to bring you power and strength. And, you know, lo and behold, because she was extremely spiritual, she really changed my life around quite a bit. But the thing is that I did have my daughter, and she was 100% correct. She's a medium, but she was 100% correct, because my daughter brought me more strength in my through her being a baby and her childhood, and learned that I could do things that I never thought I could do. And the spiritual bond is, there is something more spiritual about this than this bond. It goes way back. She has such an old soul, such an old soul. It's like we've known each other in a different lifetime. So, if this is somebody, and this is, you know, pregnancy is happened or is happening or is going to happen, really, really take into consideration, because this is supposed to be a time for you and the divine to bring you love and strength. And it's not a disruption. It is a disruption to a selfish lifehood, but it is not a disruption if you are selfless. And I was very selfish at 24 when I did mine. And my baby came back to me when I was 36. And let me tell you, this is where I'm going to tell you guys that, you know, we really have to be mindful and careful what we wish for and what we want, because everything that I have asked the divine for, every single thing he has given to me in detail. And so that's why I say, when you talk to the divine, ask in detail. Because when I didn't want to have children, but when I asked the divine, I knew that deep down he wanted me to have a child. However, this was what I said. I was in my early 30s, 31, 32, somewhere around there. And I was bodybuilding at the time. And I said, listen, I know you want me to have a child. If you want me to have a child, and that's your will that you want me to have a child, please allow me to get through my fun days of life. Allow me to get pregnant around 35 or 36, have a child at 35 or 36, because I was so into the Asian culture and Japanese culture. Let my child be half Asian, because I didn't want anything to happen to, actually, I just said half Asian, and I said, please allow it to be a girl, because I didn't want a boy. Knowing from my sexual abuse as a child, I didn't know how I would handle having a boy. So I said, please, I want to be 36. I want half Asian. I want a girl. My brother was murdered. I was 35. I got pregnant at 35. And I had to make this decision again. And at 35, that's when the divine stepped in and sent me a spiritual healer, a spiritual mentor. And at 36, I had a baby girl. I was done with my playing around, and I had a half Asian baby. So you have to be mindful of everything that you ask for, because if you are being due diligent to the divine and everything that he wants you to do for your life, he will give you what you want. He will give you what you need, I should say. Let me correct that. Thank you. He's like, no, I said need. He will give you everything you need for your walk in your journey. And that will bring you lots of rewards. So for this person, whoever this is, because I'm going on this, because this is a big decision for somebody to end a child's life. A baby is a child's life, or have it. You know, just, you're going to beat yourself up. Stop it. Forgive yourself. You know, you laid down with somebody, you got them pregnant, or you laid down with somebody, you are pregnant. You have to forgive yourself. There is a reason and a purpose and a timing for everything. So I don't know who that's for. Didn't mean to go along, because that's not going to relate to everybody. However, my story, apparently he wanted me to share that. And I'm always transparent, you know, with people, because that's how people can know that they're not alone, that other people have gone through it as well. All right. So for that, and just know that babies are not a disruption. Anything in a new seed or whatever you're starting or growing is not a disruption. This is a plan. This is a purpose. This is timing for you to either learn something, grow from something, or help somebody else grow from something. All right. All right. So let's see. I'd like to know. I want to get more on this perception for the future energies, though. So let me see what we got coming up here. Yeah, it's hidden. Okay, so somebody's afraid to tell somebody about it. You can't be afraid to tell. So again, we're walking either in love or fear. So somebody is walking in fear, total fear. Yeah, because there's somebody in your life. This probably is a younger person. I'm thinking that, maybe is in school, maybe just getting their life started. Definitely. Oh my gosh, I can just see this whole scenario. But also too, for this disruption, whatever, for this, if it's not a pregnancy, this disruption, there is something going on in the hidden, that somebody's walking in fear because there is an authoritative person that they have to tell that they don't want to tell. Oh, okay, thank you. So somebody's in trouble with the law as well, or did something, or got a huge ticket that they did or shouldn't have done. And they're terrified because they know that it's going to bring a little bit of a problem. Got to get it out. Got to get it out, guys. And the other thing too is thank you, because a lot of the times when something is sort of hidden, we think, how many times has this happened to you guys? So we think, okay, I got to tell somebody this. I don't want to tell them. And the thing is, you're like, oh yeah, they're going to get so mad. They're going to scream. They're going to holler at me. Oh, they're going to ground me. They're going to, take it away. They're going to leave me. Somebody cheated. Okay, if it's one time, we can understand. We can understand it. But the thing is, if it's one time, it's different than doing it over and over and over, kind of a thing. However, we're looking at perception of another person without allowing them to give you the answer or anything like that before they even get started. So my daughter's many times, she goes, well, I thought you would get really mad. No, I mean, I wouldn't have made that choice. Was it a good choice for you? No, and I probably will never do it again. Well, good. Then now you've learned a lesson from it. But sometimes we think in authoritative positions where they're going to act a certain way, and they don't. They actually surprisingly like, okay, now there are some people that do things really wrong, and they say, take this pregnancy thing. If somebody sits there and says, oh, okay, well, that was the most stupidest thing to do. Why did you do that? Weren't you using protection? What, doing all that kind of stuff. That's a very destructive, low vibrational kind of way to handle things. However, there are families out there that do that. So you need to be able to share this with a person of a mentoring or understanding to help you maybe make some solutions and decisions, because that person is going to forgive you. In love, you're going to forgive, period. In love, you're going to forgive. In love, they're going to look at your perception versus another person's perception. Yeah, there might be a little bit of kerfuffling, but you know what? In all reality, when the hidden comes out, then forgiveness can happen. When the secrets come out, when the dark shadows come out, when all that stuff comes out, yeah, people may not understand, but the thing is, then all will be forgiven. Whether it's forgiven and like, see you, don't ever want to see you again, then that's a choice. Forgiven and say, you know what, I need time to heal. We'll go through this later. That's her choice. But that's their perception. You got to accept the other person's perception in how they handle things so that you guys can grow back together. It's like taking a fresh loaf of bread that just came out of the oven and then you slice it. Okay, it's whole, but until you cut somebody, do something that's harmful or destructive, you've made a slice. And if you do something more hurtful or say something more hurtful, there's another slice. You can put that loaf back together again, but it's not the same loaf without the cuts. Think about that. I like using that scenario. My mother actually used that one time. She goes, our relationship will never be the same. And I said, no, it won't, Mom. I said, our relationship can be put back together She says, but it's not that same loaf of bread. So be careful in who you talk to, who in kindness, even if something is not what you would have done, you're not in their shoes. You're not in their journey. All right. We have the Six of Pentacles. Again, that is about give and take. This is a give and take situation. Yeah, well, oh boy. All right, so we have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, well, somebody's going to feel betrayed, but are they supposed to be in your life anyway? And that's the number 7, and then we also have the number 5 of Swords. So we've got there's a little bit of a battle going on here with somebody. And the battle is happening between, that's this week. This battle is a spiritual battle for somebody. Really a spiritual battle. Somebody's going to really have to pull in and hone their tongue. It's really, really hard. And it's so easy. This thing is like the shape of a sword for a reason. It is double-edged. It can say in love or it can say in fear. And when we say angry things or things that are mean, that kind of a thing, then a lot of that is done in fear. You know, when I sort of cut a relationship off with a guy this last week because he just couldn't understand that you don't need to be mean. You don't need to be rude. You don't have to be belligerent when you get frustrated and angry. But because somebody has allowed him to get away with that years after years, women have allow him to do that and say something very destructive to a woman and think that it's okay to come back and be fine with that he has to learn that at some point he's got to get it. You know, that it's pride. This is a pride thing. This is a power thing. This is something that has an insecurity. It is a fear thing. So again, for somebody, if you've got to get rid of them, if they're not a good person, you can forgive them. Say, hey, you know what? We're just not meant to be. We're just, we're too different, and you can forgive and forgive, but it's like that loaf of bread. You can't put it back together, and that double-edged sword, can't take it back. Can't take it back. All right, so let's see what else. You know what, Divine? I'd really like to get some clarification on this perception before we go. This perception, I want to know. I want to know the clarity for whoever this is for, this message for. We've got somebody who's possibly pregnant. We got somebody who's going through something that they don't want to tell, but they need to tell so that they can give this forgiveness, either give forgiveness or get forgiveness. Divine, I need to know, really, is this perception, where is this perception lying? Is it in this person that this reading is for? Or is it for the person that is coming to them? Could you share that with me, please? Okay. Can you share more with that, please? I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. So they're saying that he's saying that the perception is for the person that is coming to you. So there is apparently something that is not clear for them. There is a clarity issue because Divine said to them was the words, and the second thing was needs clarity. So I don't know who that's for. Again, so there is something going on that needs more clarity because I think a lot of the fighting that is going on and the give and take that happened that isn't there, or if something is broken that up, is through miscommunication. And so I hate when people start gossiping and telling people, oh, you know what they did and said, and then they come back and then they rectify it and get it cleared. And then they're like, oh, well, they really didn't say that. You've already done the damage. Keep your mouth shut. Stop gossiping. I hate gossip. Can you tell? Yeah. All right. So we have the Temperance. So this is patience. Again, this person that is coming towards you needs to be forgiven, or you need to forgive. However, whatever is being hidden, they're hiding it out of fear. Don't judge them on that. It's their reality. It's their life. They're just terrified. I don't know who this is. They're just terrified. And this is going to take a lot of nurturing and love and patience for this person. I don't know who this is, but be kind, be gentle, be a little bit understanding, sort of put yourself in their shoes. If you had to go tell something that you really didn't want to, or share something that you didn't want to, and they're really scared and nervous, how much more beneficial it is to have an open, loving heart. Whether you agree or you don't agree, it doesn't matter. It's not about you. This is about them. Then you have to literally, definitely, because this is about their future. This is about the future. This is about their future. And then the 9 of Wands. Okay, so this is a heavy, heavy burden. All right, really heavy burden. All right, so before we go, I know this is long, but I haven't done a reading for you guys, and I felt really, really bad. Yeah, Star, definitely insecurities with themselves, definitely. Yeah, and you know what? If people would learn to let go of the past, definitely that would make a huge, huge, huge change for a lot of people. Because a lot of people live their future in their past, which is sad because you can't change the past. It's like when I got pregnant, okay? To be honest, I got pregnant. I went on it was my birthday. Had no means to get pregnant or anything like that. And this was the second pregnancy, and had no means. I was getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, and had a birthday party. My personal trainer, who was a professional bodybuilder, came over. We were drinking, having a party, having fun, went out dancing, went out drinking, and had a designated driver, who was the guy who I was seeing at the time, because he doesn't drink, and came home, and then dieting down for my next competition. I couldn't lose weight. I was like, why am I not losing weight? 2 pounds a week. I couldn't lose my 2 pounds a week. So what happened was, like, I was joking, didn't have any indications of being pregnant whatsoever. But somebody jokingly said, well, yeah, are you gaining weight? And I'm like, no, but I got a competition in 12 weeks. I can't lose my 2 pounds even this week. I'm going to have to work twice as hard. What the frick is going on? And then they laughed and they said, well, maybe you're pregnant. Do a pregnancy test. And I'm like, there's no possible way. We didn't sleep together. We didn't blah, 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 blah. Long story short, took a pregnancy test, sat on the tub, cried my eyes out because I was pregnant. The guy came home and I said, how could this happen? And they said, you remember the night of your birthday party? And I said, I was passed out. Yeah. So, talk about a disruption. But this is the thing, is you have to understand letting go of the past. I could live with that anger and frustration and bitterness all my life. But the thing is, what good is it going to do me? It doesn't. It doesn't allow the beautifulness of whatever the fruit that came from my daughter allow me to grow. So yeah, definitely. Insecurities are huge. All right. So let's go and see here. But there's going to be I'm going to tell you right now, the divine is really saying, whoever this is for, please, please love and have patience. He keeps saying love and patience, love and patience. So whoever this is for, again, thanks for saying that, Star, because you know what? Whatever this is about somebody's insecurities. Thank you for that, because that just drove that. And that's what divine is saying. This is somebody's insecurities that they're dealing with. Wow. Yeah. Sometimes we have to let them go and allow them to come back when they're ready. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing is they can't move on. Here's why, because they don't have a new foundation. You know, the foundation is broken. There's so many cracks in the foundation. Do you rip that whole foundation down and rebuild a new foundation? Or do you try to paste all the cracks of the foundation and build that house on a broken foundation? So you sort of have to decide whether it's like one crack. Okay, we can deal with one crack. Let's, paste it, seal it, and then go on. Or then do we have cracks all over the place where that thing is just going to start crumbling? It's better to clear the foundation, start fresh and over, make sure that ground, again, we were talking about the ground in the last reading, is solid. It's good soil to rebuild a new foundation on. Tear that sucker down, put a new one down, and then rebuild a beautiful, beautiful home or whatever you want to call it from that. Yeah. You said you have to walk away sometimes. You have to walk away. Because what's that old saying? If you love something, set it free. If it was yours, it will come back to you. If it doesn't, it never was. But also, too, sometimes they're only there for one lesson and time to move on. Yeah. And that's, you know what, though, Star, that is loving yourself when you walk away, when you know it's not for your better interest or for your family or your friends. Because anything we do in our life, we have to, for one, forgive ourselves. This is your energy for this week, guys. We have to forgive ourselves. But what we don't realize and what we don't understand, especially in all of this, is anything we say or do in life doesn't only affect us. It's a ripple effect, like the water. It affects the people around us. So if I make a poor decision and I say, oh, well, it was a poor decision, but maybe it affected my daughter. Maybe it affected my home. Maybe it affected my job. Maybe it affected my attitude. So we have to realize that whatever our decisions and choices are, that's why I talk about, who was it in Aries, really having that spiritual foundation and base and knowing all truth and where it's coming from, because of the choices and decisions we make is going to have a ripple effect. It doesn't end with you. It will have a ripple effect. All right. We live in the past because we have problems leaving our secure framework. But you know what? Sometimes when you don't leave your secure framework, you have to ask yourself, it's fear. Number one, fear. But no, it's not only in your head, it's in your heart. I hate to say that. Fear doesn't start with your head. Fear starts where your foundation and your base is. Fear starts where things begin. So that's the number one thing, is how to clear that fear out and how to have more of a love-based and forward movement. Because sometimes fear is because you're living for what other people think of you. Fear is where you care about what other people have going on in their life for you. And in all reality, it's not their journey and it's none of their business. So I think a lot of that has to do with where your foundation is. And age can be a big thing too, because when I was in my 20s, I definitely didn't think like what I do today. Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you believe in the divine, you'll believe in yourself. That turns around the other way. And the divine is, where you started. Humans, right? I don't use this word very often and I don't like to cuss, but you know what? Humans, as when we're little, have fucked us up before we even get a chance to even get started. So, I mean, you look at my life, but you have to be able to get to a point in your life to accept who you are and how you were made and what you're destined to and what you're destined for. Because if I would have lived as a sexual abuse child, mentally abused child, victim-based child, my life would have not completely turned around. However, a lot of people are terrified to look into those deep, dark places. You know what, though? They're not scary once you look into them. That boogeyman goes away. All right. You guys got me talking like crazy today. I'm really relaxed right now. I had to, between readings, I had to take pain pill, guys. But here's the thing. You know, it's really interesting how the divine really has me working, how he has me going. So he wanted me to come and do these readings today, and I'm ready. I'm ready. So the intuition is really high right at this moment. All right. So let's see what's going to happen for your weekend. Wow. First card that I don't think it's there anymore, but the first card that I had was Solitude. Oh, no, it is there. So Solitude was on the bottom, which is interesting because you have details, you have Field of Dreams, and Home. And Home, all these numbers are about solitude, self-thinking, and getting down to the nitty-gritty of your foundation, especially details. This weekend is a time for somebody to actually pay attention and be by themselves in solitude and home. It's time to think and plant, get that seed and that garden ready, the soil and everything ready. It's time to adjust. And I think Leos, this is also a spiritual time for you guys to really begin to think and adjust your perspectives. Thank you. Because your perspective and your perception slightly off. I don't know who this is for. Yeah. Well, you got to realize when they replace your knee, I shouldn't have never saw the surgery before, but they cut the top of your knee off. They cut the bottom of your knee off. They hammer up some new joint. They hammer down new joint. So it's a little painful. But you know, these things don't do like a lot of people. I'm pretty strong against these things. So anyway, but yes. Let me see here. Is who coming, Star? Is who coming? But yeah, so here's the thing though, that you guys, we got ants now. The spring is coming. Woohoo! The scouts are out. Sorry, guy. The thing is though that this is a weekend that's coming up. Somebody needs to get out in nature. I don't know where you're at. I can see a really sunny day. I can feel water. I can feel a slight breeze. I can feel a bunch of trees. Oh man, that's energy. I want to be out there. But somebody needs to get into this energy, this really solitude. Somebody needs to go and really think. I don't see the hermit here, but this is for somebody to really think. Especially if somebody did end up getting somebody pregnant, you need to take responsibility for it. Or if it is somebody who is pregnant, this is the divine saying it's time. There's never a right time to have a baby. Let me tell you, there is never a right time to have a baby. But the other thing too, for this other person here, that's going on, there is something deep that needs to just come out. And this fear needs to come out. Here's the thing, like Star was saying, you got to stop living in the past, stop living in the fear. This has to come out, whatever it is. Sort of like when gay people talk about they need to come out. When I was talking about coming out of my fakeness of not living in my gifts, you know, that kind of a thing, that is such a heavy burden to carry for years and years and years and years and years. I would never tell anybody to do that. If you need to come out, whatever it is, come out. Just be, you know, whatever it is, just come out. And the people that love you will be there. And the other ones that want to fight and go against it and want you and not stand up. Now you got to keep your standards up and your high integrity and your morals and things like that. But again, you need to do this in love and kindness and understand that if you do come out and say something, this is not going to be their perspective. So you have to understand that if they do get angry, turn around and ask some questions. This is a good way to find out their perspective. So you're angry. So why is it that you're angry? Because you're not living by their rules. You're living by your rules, your journey. So if they're getting angry and saying, well, you're too young to have a baby. Okay, well, I don't think I'm too young to have a baby because I physically can have a baby. So why is it that I'm allowed to have a baby? All right. So those are things that you want to sort of look into the depth of whatever that you're needing to talk about and bring out to the open. But it'll be a releasing weekend for you, definitely. All right. This has been really, really a fun reading. It's good to see you guys. Felix, you contact me. We'll talk if you want to. Definitely. And I will do a Skype or whatever if you want to. Anybody can. So just don't ever hesitate to reach out if you need to. All right. But this is your reading. I don't have anything else other than please like. Again, that's how the YouTube creators know that their videos are actually being seen and are getting pushed by YouTube to go up and seen more. So please go ahead and like, share, of course, and always bring somebody in to subscribe. We love that. But I just do it because I love you guys. And thank you so much for all your support, guys. It really, really did lift my days up and kept me going. I loved it. Thank you, you guys. I'm going to go rest for the rest of the night. I can only do 2 a day. So that's, I think, where I'm at today. All right. Take care. See you next week. Nico?